All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The Toronto Raptors, 5 straight victories, 45-32. Tied with the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls have the tiebreaker currently, but honestly, dude, I don't think the 4 seed's really even impossible. It's definitely not impossible. We won't talk about that quite yet, though. This was an interesting game, man. This was a really interesting game. I feel like Toronto kind of put their foot off the gas pedal here in the fourth quarter, getting outscored 24-17. But for the most part, this was a solid all-around game from Toronto. I would like to see a little bit more action off of the bench. Precious Achiuwa only saw 16 minutes. Nick Nurse kind of like heavily relied on the starters in this game, and I'll start off with Freddie. But before we get into Freddie, if you guys enjoy this video, hit the like button, hit that sub button. Let's try and hit 102 likes for the Raptors, 102 points tonight. But knowing Raptors Nation, you guys are going to bless me with a lot more than that. So appreciate you. If you guys like daily Raptors content, daily NBA content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Appreciate everyone tuning into my live stream tonight. Appreciate it a lot, means a lot. It was a very entertaining stream. Unfortunately, I had to listen to the Orlando Magic broadcast, and oh my freaking God. Apparently, Jack Armstrong didn't announce tonight's game, but still, this was so freaking boring to me. Like, I almost always get the Raptors broadcast, but tonight it was Magic, and dude, I don't know what it is, but just watching an opposing team's broadcast and they're obviously not excited about the Raptors, like, it's just so freaking boring. So I want to see a lot of love down below in the comment section for this Red Hot Raptors team. A win is a win. A win is a win, and there were definitely some things I enjoyed. First off, Freddie took 16 threes tonight, bro. He took 16 threes. I would say his knee probably looks a little bit better, but there's a lot of possessions on defense where he'll just get kind of blown by. But really, for me, what's standing out is Freddie in other areas, particularly on defense. I was reading a Raptors article today, and I can't remember what they called Freddie. They gave Freddie a nickname about his defense, and I can't remember what it was. But we all know the Raptors have active hands at pretty much every possession in every single game. But tonight, this was the second straight game where Freddie defensively is just extreme. Don't hiccup in this video. No, we're not hiccuping. 19 points, he finished plus 30. 5 steals and 2 blocks for Freddie. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. They caused, the Raptors tonight forced over, I think it was 21, we can fact check that right now. They caused 21 turnovers to Orlando tonight. And obviously Orlando's in, they're in a rebuild stage. But Orlando actually has the number 2 ranked defense since the All-Star break. So pretty impressive. They were missing Wendell tonight. Wagner got injured like 30 seconds into the basketball game, which did suck for them. But I don't know. Tonight was just a really interesting game. So I want to read some comments on what you guys thought, because obviously I was watching this game, listening to the broadcasters for Orlando, and I don't know. It's just super weird. Every single Raptor scored, every starter scored in double digits, which is a positive. One thing I talk about a lot on this channel, as of late, I should say, is getting Gary Trent Jr.'s confidence, and maybe it's not so much confidence, because I would imagine he's a very confident player. We're the same age, and the guy's an absolute legend. Like, he even just looks like a beast. He's so freaking cool. But tonight, Gary Trent Jr., 6 of 16 from the field, 3 of 8 from downtown, 17 points. Felt like he played some solid defense. But it would be nice to get GTJ like a 30-point game heading into the playoffs. Just added confidence booster. OG's another one of those players that I would like to see get going, and that's exactly what he's done. I actually made a whole video, was it today, I think it was yesterday actually, talking about OG and how Toronto's 5-0 since he's come back. So he obviously plays a huge factor, and defensively he's given you all he's got. Tonight, efficient, 14 points, 2 steals, 4 of 8 from the field, 2 of 5 from downtown, so you'd like to see that. He did catch a fat He caught a fat, I see what he's saying. Oh my God, he caught a fat knee to the thigh, and he was hobbling at the end of the game, but I don't think there's anything there. That shit hurt. all I did was punch my knee, like my thigh. I feel his pain. I feel your pain, OG. Siakam honestly had a little bit more of like a point guard role tonight. There was a lot of times where Fred would play off ball. Siakam would kind of carry the ball up. Only 3 assists for him, but he did give you a double-double, 13 or 16 points, 11 rebounds, 7-18 from the field. No threes again for Siakam, but he was everywhere. He was definitely everywhere. There honestly was no point in tonight's game where I was thinking Orlando was going to win. They would make, especially in that fourth quarter, they made a little bit of a comeback. Toronto was looking in the third quarter exactly like the 2015 Golden State Warriors, where they're just pretty much dominating third quarters. So I think it was like a 13-point game at halftime, and obviously I'm not really thinking Orlando's going to win, but then they go outscore them 26-17 in the third quarter, and from there it was pretty abundantly clear that Toronto was winning this game. I think honestly maybe the thought in the back of my head that this wasn't the most pretty win is probably due to the fact of the fourth quarter, but at the same time they only shot 42% from the field, only 31% from downtown. There was a little bit of turnovers, 10 turnovers in the game, but I felt like a lot of their sloppiness was in the first quarter. It wasn't necessarily a slow start, scoring 29 points in the first, but I wouldn't say it was the most pretty first quarter, if that makes sense. Outside of that, you did have Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes scored 10 straight points late into the second quarter. He finished with 19, 8, and 7. Scotty Barnes probably is the player of the game tonight. Played some good defense. Mo Bamba pretty much guarded him for most of the game, so I got a lot of comments in my live stream when he had he scored 6 points right out of the get-go and then was pretty silent until late in the second quarter. But Mo Bamba is a hell of a basketball player, hell of a defender, and I think Orlando, keep in mind, everyone on Orlando tonight is trying to win this basketball game because a lot of these players are fighting for contracts. They're fighting for rotation minutes. They're fighting to stay in the NBA. There's a lot on the line for rebuilding teams like the Orlando Magic with 5-6 games remaining on the slate. So keep that in mind. You have just a feisty team that is trying to do everything possible to take you down. So there was good defense from Orlando tonight from what I saw. Scotty Barnes, though, phenomenal game from him. The bench, Thaddeus Young missed both of his shots. He did have 3 steals. We only saw 12 minutes of Thaddeus tonight, which kind of gets me to my point. We saw 4 minutes of Kem, who was pretty much an absolute nightmare. He did have a nice kind of finger roll finish. Got called for an offensive foul. Never saw him the rest of the game. He played 4 minutes. Precious only played 16. Boucher only played 15. But both Chris Boucher and Precious Chua had very efficient games off of the bench. So it's just interesting. I want to see Armani Brooks, literally play Armani Brooks, play Delano Banton, play another guard. Interesting, though, something I talked about in today's video was these big lineups that Toronto will run. They'll basically run 4 big men, and then tonight they had OG as the 5th guy. They had Gary Trent Jr. as the 5th guy. One thing I've learned kind of from it is sometimes they'll have trouble scoring the basketball, but the good news is with such a big, long lineup, the opposing team also has a lot of issues scoring the ball. So maybe if you threw in a guy like Armani Brooks, maybe he'd get it going, but I really don't know. I'm kind of surprised that neither guard played tonight, even in garbage time, but I guess Orlando was making a comeback. Interesting game, to say the least. I think this was an interesting game, but a win is a win, and who's complaining about a 13-point victory on the road? So that's it for tonight, man. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. As always, let's try and hit 102 likes. All my socials will be down below. Raptor Nation, I absolutely love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.